Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the proposal to establish Maktab Rendah Sains Mara MRSMP schools for well-to-do groups will not involve any government allocations. The Deputy Premier, who is also Rural and Regional Development Minister, also gave an assurance that the fee-paying MRSM will not be built on land reserved for projects meant to benefit the poor.
Dalam perancangan kami tidak akan menggunakan peruntukan daripada kerajaan. Sebaliknya kita akan menggunakan perkataan PFI, Private Finance Initiative, dan kita akan bersama dengan institusi kewangan untuk pembiayaan. Dalam hal ini kita mesti keluar daripada kepompong dan berfikir tanpa kotak.
According to him, the fee-paying MRSM can be implemented based on the model of Sekolah Menengah Imtiaz Ulul Albab Melaka. The Deputy Premier said the proposal to set up MRSMP schools was in response to the overwhelming demand for entry into MRSM, which received applications numbering 300% of its capacity. He said Mara would provide the widest opportunity possible for children of these groups to enter MRSM, but without compromising on its quality and the academic requirements. A total of 4,713 cases under the Sexual Offences Against Children Act 2017, Act 790, have been resolved from 2018 to last January. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reforms, Datuk Seri Azlan Othman Said, said during that period a total of 5,519 cases were reported and 3,060 cases had been prosecuted in court. Thus, the Minister said the enactment of Act 792 was a good step in helping the police conduct investigations and their prosecution in framing specific charges under the Act compared to general criminal laws that apply to adults, such as the Penal Code. She said this is because cases of sexual offences involving child victims will often have unique characteristics which are not present in cases involving adults. Therefore, the provisions in Act 790 can provide protection which is more accurate and comprehensive for children. Datuk Seri Azalina further noted that the government is in the process of making several amendments to Act 792 to improve the existing provisions.
Kerajaan turut akan meminda Akta Keterangan Saksi Kanak-kanak 2007 bagi memperuntukkan mengenai pendengaran khas bagi sesuatu lagi mekanisme di bawah keterangan saksi kanak-kanak yang boleh diambil dalam bentuk rakaman video supaya kanak-kanak tidak perlu menghadiri perbicaraan serta pemberian kuasa kepada mahkamah untuk melarang soalan-soalan yang tidak wajar diajukan kepada kanak-kanak bagi memastikan seseorang saksi kanak-kanak itu dapat memberikan keterangan yang lebih tenang, lancar dan selesa.
On another note, Datuk Seri Azalina said the Cabinet has agreed to several new policies related to efforts to abolish the mandatory death penalty. She said the new policies endorsed at its meeting last Friday include replacing life imprisonment as an alternative to mandatory death sentence with a new alternative of jail of between 30 and 40 years and whipping of not fewer than 12 strokes.
Tiada lagi hukuman pemenjaraan sepanjang hayat sebagai alternatif kepada hukuman mati mandatory. Sebaliknya, hukuman alternatif baru adalah hukuman pemenjaraan tidak kurang daripada 30 tahun dan tidak melebihi 40 tahun serta sebatan tidak kurang daripada 12 kali. Kedua, hukuman pemenjaraan sepanjang hayat sebagai satu hukuman dimasukkan sepenuhnya dalam semua undang-undang. Ketiga, hukuman mati dimasukkan bagi kesalahan-kesalahan yang tidak menyebabkan kematian, melainkan 3 kesalahan iaitu Seksyen 121 dan Seksyen 121A Kanun Keseksaan dan Seksyen 39B Akta Dadah Berbahaya 1952.
She said the policy of the Mandari government was not to abolish the death penalty, but to give judges the discretion to impose sentences. Datuk Seri Azalina said the first reading of the Abolition of Mandatory Death Penalty Bill 2023 and Review of Death Penalty and Life Imprisonment, Temporary Jurisdiction of Federal Court Bill 2023 will be done on Monday. The Home Ministry KDN has thus far received a total of 688 applications for citizenship for children born overseas by Malaysian mothers married to foreigners. Its Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said the number was from a total of 150,000 citizenship applications received by his ministry to date.
Kita yakin cuma mereka belum memasukkan permohonan. Perkara ini adalah sebuah di bawah perkara 15.2, iaitu permohonan warga negara bagi anak yang lahir di luar negara.
The minister noted that the Home Ministry has segmented the applications, and out of 150,000, and it turns out that the higher category involves stateless children or children born out of wedlock. Regarding the government's efforts to resolve the issue of stateless children in rural areas, Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution said the ministry has set up a special committee team to go to the areas to assess the citizenship application process. He said the Home Ministry also aims to finalise the 948 citizenship applications received in Sarawak before June this year. In his reply about when the amendment to the Federal Constitution can be made regarding the citizenship of children born overseas by Malaysian mothers married to foreigners, he said it is expected to be tabled in September. The Touch and Go services will not be terminated amid plans to review its monopoly. Domestic Trade and Costs of Living Minister Datuk Sri Salahuddin Ayub said there were plans to offer more payment methods to highway users, including an open payment system at more highways such as the Plus Expressway.
Saya baca tadi ada maklumat yang mengatakan dah ada banyak players yang bersedia untuk menawarkan sistem ini. Jadi kita open sistem itu dan pengguna jalan raya boleh pilih apa sistem yang dia mahu. Dan make it very clear, kita tidak mengambil apa-apa tindakan kepada Touch and Go. Dia boleh terus beroperasi. Kerajaan tidak bertindak zalim untuk menghentikan, walaupun kita minta mereka menjawab beberapa persoalan sebelum ini.
He added the discussions with the Transport Ministry and Works Ministry are well underway to ensure that any system changes are implemented in a proper manner in due time. The Lembaga Tabung Haji TH expects the amount of Hajj financial support to increase to almost 500 million ringgit in 2024 if the cost of performing the pilgrimage is not reviewed. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Naim Mukhtar, said the matter will have an impact on TH as it needs to provide reasonable profit distribution to its depositors.
Tabung Haji sentiasa bekerjasama dengan beberapa agensi kerajaan untuk menyimak silang maklumat bakal haji dengan pangkalan data sedia ada berkaitan pendapatan mereka.
Elaborating further on the matter, the minister said every year TH faces various challenges in Hajj management, including the increase in the cost of performing Hajj pilgrimage, which is beyond TH's control, which affects its financial sustainability, as well as the challenge of maintaining the best level of service. He, however, assured that TH will continue the Hajj financial support to assist prospective pilgrims performing the Hajj for the first time to ease the financial burden. Datuk Muhammad Naim added that even if they are eligible to receive Hajj financial assistance, prospective pilgrims in the B40 and M40 groups are given the opportunity to voluntarily pay more than the set rate, even though they may not be able to pay the full costs. Coming up, police after Johor police bus drug syndicate seized drugs worth 3.22 million ringgit. Transport Minister Anthony Loke dismissed claims that the government neglected the search and rescue SAR operation to locate a Malaysian registered cargo ship MVDAI CAT-06, which was reported missing since January. He said the country's security agencies are working hard to locate the missing vessel.
Pertamanya, memang kita bersungguh-sungguh mencari. Saya rasa dan yakin kepada agensi-agensi kita bahawa tidak ada soal dari segi kita mempertimbangkan dari segi kos Ini nyawa manusia. Kita bukan melihat kepada kos tersebut. Namun begitu secara faktanya ialah dari segi kawasan di mana bot itu hilang, ia berada di perairan Indonesia. Jadi dari segi pihak berkuasa untuk mencari dan menyelamat SAHIH itu di bawah pihak berkuasa Indonesia. Jadi sudah tentu Wisma Putra ada berhubung dengan pihak berkuasa di Indonesia dan tidak benar mengatakan bahawa kita mengabaikan pihak operasi mencari dan menyelamat ini.
Log said he had instructed the Marine Department to conduct serious monitoring and ensure that the SAR mission to locate the ship will continue with the Indonesian authorities. On 9th of January, a cargo ship carrying pipes worth of 726,205 ringgit along with 5 crew members was believed to have disappeared in Indonesian waters, and a report regarding the incident was lodged by the ship's agent on the same day. The Ministry of Finance, MOF, will lodge a police report on allegations that former Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng had revoked the tax exemption status of Yayasan Al-Bukhari and that the letter of cancellation was signed by MOF officials as spread on social media. In a statement released today, MOF said it viewed these allegations seriously because the ministry, whether through the former finance minister and/or its officers, did not revoke any approval on tax exemption granted to Yayasan Al-Bukhari. He said Yayasan Al-Bukhari had been approved as a non-profit organisation undertaking charitable works under subsection 44 in bracket 6 of the Income Tax Act, which grants its tax exemption status. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim told Parliament during the Prime Minister's question, PMQ time, that Lim has never revoked the tax exemption given to Yayasan Al-Bukhari throughout his 2-year tenure as Finance Minister beginning May of 2018. On March of 22nd, Lim lodged a police report against Bersatu President Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin for alleging that the DAB chief had cancelled approval for tax exemption given to Yayasan Al-Bukhari when he was a finance minister. All 5 graft charges involving the Jana Wibawa project made against businessman Adam Radlan Adam Muhammad will be tried together in the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court. Deputy Public Prosecutor Mazia Muhaidi informed Sessions Court Judge Azura Alwi that the prosecution will be applying to transfer the 2 charges facing the businessman in the Shah Alam Sessions Court to be tried together with the 3 charges in the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court. She also told the judge that a case involving Adam Radlan at the Shah Alam Court had been set for mention on 14th of April. Adam Radlan, 42, who is the Gambut Bersatu Deputy Chief, is facing 5 charges, 3 in Kuala Lumpur and 2 in Shah Alam. Lawyer Datuk Sri Rajan Navaratnam, representing Adam Radlan, did not object to it. Judge Azura then set 29th of May for mention for submission of other documents. Tan Sri Rosmas Mansur's money laundering and tax evasion trial, the Kuala Lumpur High Court, was heard before a new judge today. Judge K. Mulyandi replaced Judge Muhammad Zaini Mazlan, who has been promoted to the Court of Appeal recently. During today's proceedings, Datin Sri Rosma's lawyer, Datuk Gritan Ram Vincent, informed the court that they were withdrawing their application to disqualify Senior Deputy Public Prosecutor Datuk Sri Gopal Sri Ram, given that the former federal court judge died in late January this year following a lung infection. Since the matter was not objected to by Deputy Public Prosecutor Po Yi Tien, the court then struck out of application. Previously, the court fixed 15 days beginning from 12th of May this year for the trial. Datin Sri Rosma is facing 12 money laundering charges involving 7 million ringgit and 5 counts of failure to declare her income to the Inland Revenue Board. Johor Police busted a drug trafficking syndicate and arrested 2 suspects before seizing various types of drugs worth 3.22 million ringgit after carrying out raids at 3 separate locations in Johor Bahru on Tuesday. The State Police Chief, Datuk Kamaruzaman Mahmad, said the 2 suspects, aged 34 and 38, believed to be working as storekeepers, were detained by a team from the Narcotics Crime Investigations Department between 3:15 p.m. and 5 p.m. During the raids, police says 119,750 ermine 5 pills, 5,360 grams of SOC powder, 865 grams of SOC pills, 903 grams of ketamine, and 270 grams of magic mushrooms. The drug seized can fix the cravings of 145,928 drug addicts. He said the modus operandi of the syndicate that is believed to have been active since January used houses in gated and guarded locations to store the drugs before distributing them to the local market. Police also confiscated assets worth of 210,450 ringgit, comprising cash, jewelleries and 4 vehicles. Both suspected have been remanded for 7 days starting yesterday, and the case is being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. Coming up in our foreign segment, holy month of Ramadan begins for Muslims across the world. Israeli forces shot dead a Palestinian man early today. The Palestinian Health Ministry said the first killing in the occupied West Bank during Ramadan, as the army said it targeted an armed suspect. In a statement, the ministry said Amir Imad Abu Khadija, 25, was killed by the Israeli occupation bullets during the aggregation on Tulkam, adding that Amir was shot in the head and lower limbs. The killing is the first fatality in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict during the holy month of Ramadan, which started today. The Tulkam Brigade, a local fighter group, claim Amir is one of its leaders and founders. The latest deadly Israeli raid in the West Bank came just days after Israeli and Palestinian officials met in Egypt in a bid to reduce tensions amid a surge in violence. Since the start of the year, the conflict has claimed the lives of 87 Palestinian adults and children, including militants and civilians. The United Nations Middle East Peace Envoy Tor Winnisland said on Wednesday that Israeli operations and subsequent clashes have led to a staggering number of Palestinians killed and injured. In India, supporters of opposition leader Rahul Gandhi broke out in protests after a court today sentenced a former Congress president to 2 years in jail on charges of defamation for a 2019 speech in which he referred to thieves as having the surname Modi. Gandhi will appeal against the order in a higher court, but it is potentially a big blow for his Congress party ahead of the 2024 general election. Demonstrators in Kolkata burned an effigy and clashed with police, while dozens of opposition leaders stood in parliament premises chanting slogans against the sentence. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak today said he was very pleased with the level of support for his reworked Brexit deal, when a large majority of lawmakers voted in favour of the storm-and break element of the Windsor framework on Wednesday. Sunak won the backing of Parliament on Wednesday for a key element of a reworked post-Brexit deal on Northern Ireland, despite opposition from the province's biggest Unionist party and some of his lawmakers. Sunak has tried to end years of wrangling over Brexit by revisiting one of the trickiest parts of the negotiations to ensure smooth trade to Northern Ireland without creating a hard border with Britain or with European Union member Ireland. Shops and malls were abuzz with buyers celebrating Ramadan as Muslims across the Gulf gearing up to greet the holy month of Ramadan. The fast is usually broken with a lavish meal that includes staples like dates and sweet juices.
بنحاول نعيش الاجواء لان احنا اوريدي مش جنب اهالينا فبنحاول ان احنا نعيش في رمضان شويه لان زي ما انت عارف دبي اغلبهم يعني سياحه وكده فصعب ان تعيش توتال الاجواء زي مصر فبنحاول.
رمضان شهر عباده ما هو شهر اكل صح والقليل يكفي فالقناعه كنز لا يفنى والانسان لا يكون شره في الاكل وفي الشروات ويضيع وقته في الاسواق وفيما لا يستفيد منه شيء. الإنسان خلق لعبادة الله سبحانه وتعالى. الله سبحانه وتعالى قال وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ورمضان شهر عبادة.
Coming up in sports, KBS simplifies organising sporting events in clubs and private sector. The Harimau Malaya squad are certainly living up to the name, pledging to donate RM1 of every match ticket sold towards efforts on conservation of the Malayan tiger. In a joint statement today, the Youth and Sports Ministry, KBS, and the Football Association of Malaysia, FAM, said they are collaborating in the campaign to prevent the Malayan tiger species from going extinct. FAM President Datuk Hamidin Muhammad Amin said the move is in support of efforts by the Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change NRECC Ministry, which spearheads the drive on biodiversity conservation. The FAM Executive Committee had decided to donate RM1 from each ticket sale for matches involving the national team, and the money would be channeled to KBS for this purpose. Meanwhile, Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yoh urged all football fans to exhibit the same spirit on conservation of the Malayan tiger, saying this is in line with the Malaysia Madani approach to emphasising sustainability. According to KBS and FAM, the wild tiger population in the country has dropped from about 1,000 in the 1970s to fewer than 150 now due to various threats like poaching. Kim Pangon's Harimau Malaya squad are playing a friendly match against Turkmenistan tonight and Hong Kong next Tuesday. Both games are scheduled at 10 p.m. at Sultan Ibrahim Stadium, Iskandar Putri, Johor. Sports associations registered under the Sports Development Act 1987 in bracket 8576 did not seek approval from the Sports Commissioner to organise local sports competitions starting 10th of April. Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yoh stressed that sports associations or sports parties must, however, adhere to the guidelines set to ensure the health and safety aspects, including providing insurance coverage to ensure the security and safety of participants. She said the decision was made following a dialogue session with Chief Executive and Sportsman Industry players on 31st of January, and also in line with the Malaysia Madani concept of focusing on issues and taking steps to resolve such issues and also ease the process of organising sports event in the country.
Semua pembaharuan ini adalah untuk kita membangunkan ekosistem sukan. KBS ni dia jaga ekosistem sukan. Ini adalah cara untuk kita membudayakan sukan untuk pastikan di semua peringkat, bukan saja di Putrajaya, di daerah-daerah kecil, semua penganjur sukan kita memudahkan kerja mereka.
Speaking to reporters during a press conference on the organising of sports events at Menara KBS in Putrajaya today, she also said that organisers are responsible for securing approval from the relevant sports bodies and insurance to ensure the safety of participants. Lionel Messi and his Argentina teammates will make a triumphant return in their homeland tomorrow morning when they play their first match since winning the World Cup in Qatar. More than 1.5 million fans applied for 63,000 available tickets for the match against Central American winners Panama at the Monumental Stadium in Buenos Aires. Football-mad Argentines were out in even larger numbers following the Abelis's dramatic penalty shootout victory over France in December. An estimated 5 million people thronged the streets of Buenos Aires a few days later for the trophy parade. Such was the multitude that the parade had to be abandoned long before it reached central Buenos Aires, as it was already hours behind schedule. Messi had been widely expected to retire from international football after the final in Doha, in which he scored 2 goals and a shootout spot kick, but the Paris Saint-Germain forward said he wanted to carry it out a bit longer so he could wear the blue and white Argentina jersey as a world champion. A party atmosphere is expected in Buenos Aires for the team's competitive homecoming, with 20,000 places in the 83,000 capacity stadium reserved for invitees. The remaining tickets will snap up within 2 hours of going on sale. Now, despite missing out on stage 3 of the Volta Catalunya on Wednesday, race leader Primo Roglic of Jumbo-Visma was all smiles after passing another high-altitude test. The Slovenian finished just behind world champion Remco Evenepoel of Sodal Quickstep after giving up 2 seconds on the stage to Ele Molina, and the pair are now tied in the overall standings. The two riders have been a step above the rest in the first 3 days of racing. Roglic won the opening stage on the short. Steep kick to the line in Saint-Louis-de-Joux turned out spirited Evenepoel to take second to trek Segafredo's Julius Kikonde at the Volta's 2000 ski resort. Roglic managed to shadow the Belgian towards the summit, but inside the last kilometre on a final steep hairpin bend, Evenepoel accelerated away and held out for victory 2 seconds ahead of the Slovenian. Roglic kept hold of the overall race lead, but is now tied on time, with Evenepoel ahead of stage 4, which is a 188-kilometre route from Livia to Sabadell.
Sa maquete monumental trofeu que distingeix el líder de la classificació general 8 més que el líder de la classificació general per punts.
All right, that concludes this evening's News at 10. In our top story, proposed MRS in paid schools will not involve government funds. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Nura Zamri. Stay tuned to Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.